You know, they say 73.6% of statistics are nothing but BS. Big Nate is 100% BS. Welcome to another edition of BSin' with Big Nate.
That was Sin Seer with How It Ends. And of course, if you haven't figured it out by now, play the track, talk to someone responsible. That's where we are at. Another edition of BSing with Big Nate. Of course, I have had Trey here on before, but now we're talking about their latest single. Trey, how you doing today?
Hanging in there, man. Doing all right. How you doing?
I can't complain too much. I got to be honest with you. I got to be honest with everybody. I lead a privileged life because sometimes I get to hear things a little bit before other people do. And you sent me the track probably about week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I've had it on repeat ever since. But I want to talk to you about how that track makes you feel.
It's kind of a crazy, overwhelming feeling, man. A lot of different emotions. The process for that took a lot out of me. The music on Cameron's part came together really, really easily. Actually, when he sent it to me, it was pretty much written as you hear it now. So, I mean, it was pretty set in stone from the get-go. I went through a couple of different drafts. The first few takes I did, I really wasn't pleased with the performance. So I ended up going back and doing it again. And it's just like every single step, like, it just became more and more of a struggle. The mixing was really difficult to nail. It was just a really lengthy process as far as getting the production of everything. But to see it now, to see it like, in its final form, and to hear your reaction and some of the other people that we've shown it to, it's just so great. And it's a satisfying feeling knowing that we went through a lot to get there. So yeah, man, I'm very, very stoked to share this one, especially more than any other single, just because we've been taking so many new approaches to the way that we record and the way we mix, and just trying new things out, even as far as like marketing and promoting and all this. We got a lot of really exciting stuff in line for it. So we can't wait to share it with everybody.
So I want to talk about the promoting for a bit, because you guys kind of did something that I find really intriguing and I'm a big fan of, is all of the posts online. They were just little snippets, just little bits of you guys in the studio. Is
Right.
there a fuller video picture coming, or?
Yes. The full video we will be releasing on Friday with the release of the single. So yeah, that'll be available on YouTube for anyone to check out. So yeah, that's essentially what we were doing, was building up towards that.
I love that. I mean, there's a moment. So I don't know if you're a big Korn fan.
Oh, dude.
Um,
Oh my
They're
God.
recording Daddy. There's video of Jonathan Davis in the studio trying to get through those lyrics. And like, I called back to that, seeing you kind of go through. I don't necessarily know if it's the chorus or I'd have to go back and watch, but there's a part where you're going through. It's and like
I
you
know
can
which
just
part
feel
you're
the emotion.
Uh-huh.
So like, I'm really stoked to kind of get that in behind the curtain look. And
Right.
I think it's a really powerful track. I think there's a lot going on there. I mean, was this a calculated, we're releasing this now, or was it just kind of, you had the song done, threw a dart at the calendar and said, this is the day?
A little bit of both. Originally, I wanted it to be the opener for the EP, for the next EP, but a lot of plans changed, and as it appears, we won't be releasing an EP this year. So I just felt like, as we were getting towards the end of the year, it was just such a great track that I felt like it could stand alone on its own. So I thought it was really proper that we went as a single. Man, to hear you say that, that is by far the greatest compliment I've ever had, because I am a huge Korn fan. In fact, Korn is the reason why I got into this to begin with. The very first home video that they put out, Who the Now, I had that on VHS tape, man, and I watched that religiously, like every weekend, when I was like from middle school all the way to high school. Like that was my band, man. And that scene that you're talking about, I remember that. I even remember when they were recording Kill You, and he's just going insane. And yeah, man, that really captivated me. And I think that was kind of what inspired me, because seeing him just put all of his emotion into the music, and it made me feel the way I felt. Like that's what inspired me to want to do that, and hopefully, in hopes, one day inspire somebody like that as well. So yeah, man, that's the ultimate compliment right there. So thank you for that. But as far as the concept, I think that kind of is taking like a whole new direction, because for me, the way I would write, I would always vent out what it was that that I was going through. And sometimes it wasn't always positive. Sometimes there was a little bit of hostility or aggression or, all these negative components. And I think that with this one, because I had actually written it on New Year's Day, the first day of 2020, I was sitting out on my balcony and kind of just like looking out and just sort of like really reflecting on everything, what had transpired in the previous year and everything. And it was just from a more solidified perspective. It was taking the good and the bad and sort of just taking it all in and sort of remembering that you can't live in the past and you have to embrace the moment as it comes, but you also got to remember to look ahead because moments pass just like everything else. So you kind of have to just look forward. And how it ends is sort of like that, having that full perspective of like whenever you pursue a relationship, whether it's with someone that you're falling in love with, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, sometimes those relationships go sour. And it's like, if you had the foresight, if you knew beforehand that this was going to lead to where it led, would you still pursue that? Would you still go through all those experiences because of where it's led you now? So it's kind of just sort of that food for thought kind of thing. And that's kind of where all of these different layers sort of came from and all that. So that's really what inspired the song.
You talk a lot about layers in there, and I think that's something that's worth mentioning is in that track, there's a lot going on. Like it kind of starts off with this like discordant, ominous guitar, and then it just moves into like the rest of the track and it just builds. Like it feels like the whole song, and this is probably a weird comparison, but it feels like it's all like waiting to just reach a boiling point.
That's a really great way of putting it. And as far as the music goes, man, I mean, I got to give all the credit in the world to Cameron for that. Cameron pieced all of that together by himself. And that was, like I said, that was one of the only few songs where he sent it to me and like, I didn't even need to touch it. There was nothing that needed to be messed with. Like he just structured it so well. And I think that just goes to show like how much he's grown, because when you look at the very first EP that we did 2 years ago, and you look at that compared to this single that we have now, I mean, it's almost night and day. I mean, there's just such a huge amount of growth. And like you said, there's so many dynamics to the song that I don't think we've ever really explored before, or not as deep as we have now. And I think that's also what makes it exciting going forward, is because like we're just getting into this. Like I feel like we're getting so much more, it's becoming so much more second nature now. Now we're really starting to have a lot more fun and just dive really deep into it. So I'm really, really psyched to see where we go with it.
I am as well. And it's important to bring this up. Where can they get How It Ends?
By the time this is out, it looks like everywhere, digital stores, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, iTunes, you get the gist. Bandcamp, sinceremusic.bandcamp.com. If you want to throw some money our way, it's just $1. Pretty much everywhere, man. We want to get this out to as many people as possible. I feel like it's going forward. It's just it's just like a whole new evolution for us. So yeah, man, it's gonna be pretty cool to see the reactions that we get from it. So yeah, we'll see.
I think you've got a great product here. I hate to refer to music as a product, but I think that like the final product, as it were. And I think there's a lot of emotion there. I think there's a lot of power. I think this track's going to grab a lot of people. I've got to ask. So I don't know how they're doing things out there in Texas, but recording studios around here aren't having so hot of a time. So like, what was recording this like?
Well, there's a lot of, the recording process for us is a little different than most people, because most bands, when they get together, or groups or whatever, when they get together, that's whenever they finally lay everything down all together as one. For us, everything was done in separate little spots. Cameron tracked everything in his home studio as far as the music goes. He programmed the drums himself. So he sent me all the stems. And then from there, I took it over to my recording studio, which is about 2.5 hours away. And that's where I recorded, and which is the footage where you see me and that vocal booth and everything. That's where I record pretty much every song that Sincere's ever done. I've tracked at that studio. Um, and then once we got all the final tracks for that, then I brought it back over here to my home studio, and that's pretty much where I edited, mixed it down. And then as far as the mastering goes, we would just go back and forth with notes, different things that he would hear, different things that I picked up on and whatnot. So, I mean, it was really just 50, it really was just a 50-50 effort from both of us. I think as far as the way our process is, I mean, it's always just been about trust. I mean, really, because since we don't really get together, we've never actually been in the same room whenever we've recorded. I mean, I kind of have to rely on him to, to do the best performance that he can do, just like he would rely on me to get the best takes that I could get. And whenever I cut it up, when I edit it, when I mix it, like everything, it's, we got to go all out and do our best. And I think that because of that, both of us have excelled like so much more than I think if we were to be apart, if that makes sense. Like if I was to be doing something with another group, I don't know if I would really be at this level that I'm at now. So, I mean, just another reason why I'm really grateful that the process is this way. I mean, it's a really strange, like I said, like most bands I don't think could function like this, or most groups couldn't function like this, but it works perfectly for us. So, I mean, we're just going along for the ride, man.
No, I think it's great. I'm talking to Trey of Sin Seer. That's 2 words, SINSEER. How It Ends, out now, streaming wherever the hell you can find it. I want to kind of sidestep for a minute and talk about something you've got going on, and I'm going to hurt my chances at winning, but over on your Facebook page, and this is important because 5 years time, I think there's going to be a lot of value to this. I'm not saying they're going to be the next biggest band, but they very well could be the next biggest band. So what do you got going on over your Facebook?
So it was a little idea that I had. Actually, I had it a while back because I was inspired by a few other bands doing it. And I just kind of wanted to see like where we were at, man. Like what was our audience thinking of our music? Like what songs were speaking to people? So try to think of this really cool little idea, like to sort of show our appreciation for, all the new people that have, been supporting us this past year. It's just a way to say thank you. So I had a canvas print and a photo poster of us made along with one of our t-shirts, which you can get now. You can go to, like I said, any of our social media sites. You can find the links for it. So we wanted to do this really cool idea of just a free giveaway, sort of like I said, saying thanks to all the listeners. And all we wanted to know was, what's your favorite song? Why is it your favorite song? And you're entered into a drawing. And then on Friday, the day of How It Ends, the release, we will be announcing, and whoever wins will be getting this very first exclusive bundle that, I mean, it literally, I mean, not only just came out of my pocket, but it came from the heart. Like, this is something very, very special. Like, I don't know if it's going to be worth anything one day. I mean, it'd be cool if it was, but even if it's not, it's just, this is the very first special thing that we're doing for our audience. So I just really hope whoever receives it, just appreciates it. And I mean, there's going to be more. I think that was the biggest thing too, man, was that I was so nervous that nobody was going to respond. And that was what I was more worried about. So like the fact that, everyone who did, it was such a relief. So I'm like, okay, so we don't totally suck. So that's cool. But no, there will be more going forward. And I think everyone will be, every giveaway will be something special. It'll be completely different, very unique to that individual. So yeah, man, I hope whoever gets it enjoys it.
I love it. So the point to take away there is you need to follow Sin Seer on social media, give him some love.
Yes.
I got to ask before we wrap this up. Of course, we've established no EP in 2020 because it has been the year from hell. But what's next for you guys?
So as far as the month of November, we'll be taking a little bit of time off. I'm getting ready to finish remixing and remastering all of the original EPs that we did from 2018. In 2021, we will be releasing physical copies of all of these EPs with special bonus tracks added. So something to look forward to. As far as December goes, we will be releasing our final single of the year. It'll be our 5th one. Kind of want to leave it a surprise right now. It's going to be a really cool little thing. We have some ideas for it already. So probably in the next couple of weeks, we'll be throwing out some teasers, just like, just like we've been doing. So something to look forward to for that.
Excellent. I've been chatting with Trey of Sin Seer. Give him some love. Social media, How It Ends, out now, streaming pretty much anywhere you can get it. Of course, you should help your favorite musicians and probably go ahead and buy it. That's what I would recommend. But I can't tell you what to do. I can only suggest. So thank you so much for joining me, Trey.
Thank you once again, man, for having me. It's always a blast, shooting stuff with you, man. So I'm always ready whenever you are. Appreciate it.
Excellent. It's a pleasure. We'll try and talk again some point in December. I'll have to
awesome.
twist your arm a little bit once we get off here, but have a lovely day.
Yeah, you too, man. You do the same.